I'm Ailsa Clark, the founder and development manager at InspirAlba. InspirAlba are a social enterprise based in Argyll. In Campbelltown, we work with community-based enterprises and social enterprises right across the Argyll and Islands area, providing development, management support, business support, and helping organisations quite often with limited capacity to turn ideas into reality and addressing issues and challenges. I guess we've had involvement in terms of initiatives with business support, so recognising that people out there are challenged given the current circumstances, and that can be in both contexts. They've either seen their work significantly increase if they're delivering front-line services and there's a much greater need for those services. For example, ShopAid that deliver shopping for older people have seen their customer numbers increase more than twofold, or other organisations who have seen their work completely stop. And I think both those situations are equally stressful, and how you manage that can be a challenge for the organisations. So we've been providing additional business support through Just Enterprise. I guess we've also been connected in nationally through our links with Scott and others to I guess engage across the sector and see what comes next. But because we're based locally as well and kind of closely connected to our local community, we've also been delivering I guess some resilience activities locally. So we're part of the local Kintyre Community Resilience Group, and it became really apparent early on that whilst a lot of the schoolwork has moved to online, a lot of families don't actually have tools and resources for online. So we've been working on getting laptops out to families. So yeah, we've been doing, I guess we're quite fortunate that we've got local connections, regional wide connections, and also national connections. And we've been working on we have an Erasmus project with partners across Europe as well. So it's been really interesting seeing the different contexts and the different stages people are at with regards to COVID-19 and lockdown and what's happening in different areas as well. So I guess our contract work is a Scottish Government contract, the Just Enterprise contract. So the additional demand for services has been met by additional resource being secured by the Just Enterprise contract holders nationally. So that's allowed us to be able to meet those needs on a local basis. For the work we've been doing in terms of digital connections, we had applied to a wellbeing fund, which was turned down sadly, probably due to a lack of awareness by some of the partners locally in terms of what's going on in the ground. But that is what it is. We will probably reapply, but it is frustrating because people are really busy. So having to reapply for these funds is quite frustrating. But and I think that's been a reality for a number of organisations. So there's a whole host of different funding sources that have been kind of made available during what has been the last, I guess, 8-9 weeks. You lose touch a wee bit, and at different times, and there is some connection between a lot of them, but there's also a lack of connection. So I think certainly, and everybody has been 100% doing their best to get the resources out to the front line to people that need them, and some of that's been learning as we go as well. So some of the initial perhaps guidance wasn't as clear as it could have been, but we just have to work through that collectively, and that's some of the support we're putting in through Just Enterprise as well, particularly kind of supporting folk that have maybe had a knockback in terms of the Third Sector Resilience Fund to help them strengthen their bids moving forward as well. I think it's interesting, as someone fairly remote and rural, as I said, I live and work from a base in Campbelltown, and do quite a lot of advocacy work in terms of social enterprise in rural communities. And in some ways it's almost been a bit of a leveller. It's much easier for rural social enterprises to engage in discussions, to take part in training, All of these things that are usually hugely challenging, because quite often it can mean a 3-day round trip up to the city. So in some ways, we've kind of proven that it's doable to be inclusive, no matter the geography, because of the current circumstances. So it'll be good to build on that moving forward, but also hugely conscious of the fact that at the moment, you know, there's a lot of resources being pushed to meet the resilience efforts and to keep organisations afloat. And I guess it's what happens next. You know, there's a finite amount of resource and we're having to use quite a lot at the moment just to keep things going. And I'm particularly conscious that for some of the social enterprises that we work with, they have a seasonality to their business. So perhaps they have more footfall during the summer because of tourism, which is clearly not going to happen this year. But a lot of the support mechanisms are available to kind of fit with the now, but actually they're more likely to be impacted come the back end of the year. So that I think we need to address as we move forward. And I guess for InspirAlba, you know, one of the things that, although we all, I mean, half of my team work in an office and half of them are remote, but we've actually been more connected. We've kind of instigated a weekly catch up. So I think we'll build on that moving forward as well, and the resilience of the team. And, you know, who knows what the future holds. Significant challenges, I think, in terms of the economy, but I would hope that there's an opportunity in terms of looking at things differently with a more of a well-being focus, less of a focus on growth and more of a focus on resilience and impact locally. I think that the importance of localism has been very much highlighted over the weeks in terms of how you get responses out to people. Oh, here's a wee palette to join me. Thank you. I'm doing a wee thing just homeschooling. That's a challenge as well as we work through things. And you know, just recognising that we're all human, and that sometimes that highly polished kind of front that people put on, you know, we need to look beyond that and recognise that we are all human. We're all doing our best, and if we can be doing our best for each other, then perhaps that gives us a greater starting point for moving forward, because it's through those acts of kindness that we see in our local communities that we can really start to create the change that's very much needed in terms of inequality and injustice that is so prevalent in our society before COVID-19, and I think there's a real danger that could just return to some kind of what was classed as normal but clearly isn't normal.